Hello and welcome to day 6 of the Meet Your Spirit Guide challenge. How did you get on with day 5 yesterday, which was to go for a walk with your spirit guide? Did they turn up on the walk with you? Did they walk beside you? Or whilst you were out in nature, did you spot any of the elemental signs in the trees? So fairies, gnomes, elves, pixies, even dragons. What did you get on your walk? Let me know in the comments. It's a perfect way to connect with them because when we're out in nature, we automatically connect to that wonderful love vibration. We start to vibrate at the same level that Mother Earth's vibrating at. So we get to that level that's amazing for connecting with the spirit world. So let me know what you got yesterday with your walk. So what are we going to be doing today in day 6? You're going to be writing with your guides or even drawing with your guides. So this is another great way to connect with them. So you can either grab a pen, some paper, and have a go at automatic writing, which is simply just closing your eyes. And we're going to say an invocation before we start this work. And this is simply because we want to make sure we are getting guides coming through that are for our highest good, and we're not getting any dodgy spirits coming through. So whenever we do work like this, whenever we channel, whenever we want to connect with the spirit world, I'll always give you an invocation to say out loud where we're calling in guides of the highest compassion that are here for our highest good. Make sure you do that. So you're going to close your eyes, repeat the invocation that I give you, and then just start letting your hand go wherever it wants to go and letting the guides write through you and see what comes out on the page. It might actually be some written words. It may very well be a drawing. One thing I love to do is let my pen go, draw all over the place, and then get my crayons out, my coloured pencils, and fill in the gap with the colours. And then often when you finish, like for example, once when I did it, and I wish I still had it, it got lost in the house meet. It looked like some kind of cosmic animal. It was a bit like a dog, but it was a bit cosmic and it was amazing. And I thought, I wonder if that's a being that was with me in one of my past lives in the cosmos. Or if you are an artist and you have an easel and a canvas and paintings, close your eyes and channel your guides and draw through them. You probably already do that. It's a beautiful way of letting them connect through you, giving messages to you or showing you visions as they did with my cosmic dog. So have a go at that. The full instructions will be in the description with this post. And please share what you get in the comments. Take a picture of it with your phone and share with us what you got. I'd love to know how you get on with that. So let's carry on, shall we, in seeing which guides want to come through for you through the Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light deck. So this is the 3rd day we've been doing this. Yesterday we had 3 guides and the day before we had 3 guides. So let's see who else wants to come through. This is a great way of asking Spirit which guides want to work with you who are completing this Meet Your Spirit Guide challenge. We'll draw out of here which guides are wanting to work with you. So if you haven't yet on day 6 worked out who it is that wants to work with you, it may very well be one of these that I draw out of here. It may not be, because you may be having your totem animal spirit guide come through. And what I'll do tomorrow on the last day in the last video is use my animal oracle deck, so we can draw 3 animal type beings that may be coming out for you. But for today we'll stick with Keepers of the Light, and we'll ask the deck who else wants to come through and work with the people that are completing this spirit guide challenge, please. And my book turned up, found it, I don't know if it was the Fae putting it somewhere or if it was me that put it somewhere. So please, can you show us which other spirit guides want to come through and work with people completing this challenge, please? I knew this one was going to come through because it was the first card that popped in my head when I thought about using this deck. So this is, and I'm not sure if I pronounced the name correctly, but I'm going to say Sir Nunnos. Sir Nunnos. So this could have very well been one of the guides that you saw when you did your walk on day 5, because he's heavily connected to nature and forests and such like, heavily connected to nature. So Sir Nunnos is all about giving you life force. So if your intention at the beginning of these 7 days was you want some motivation, you want some energy, you want to just feel like you're alive again, this guide is great for helping you with this. He's also, there's a lot of sexual energy with this guide as well. So maybe if your sex drive is low, if you're lacking in that area, calling in this guide to help with that, because he's all about life force, passion, sexual powers, sensuality too. So in your visions, if you've been seeing a character like this, or you've been seeing these antlers, and again we've got this crescent moon, and it's funny because at this moment in time when I'm recording this video on Wednesday, it's the book moon, the book full moon, and it was called so because the ancient tribes noticed that at that full moon the deers were starting to grow their antlers. And I don't think it's deers, is it, because they're female and they don't have antlers, but I've forgotten the name for the male ones, but you know what I'm on about. Or have you been seeing these in your vision? So have a good feel into that. Could that be your guide? Let's see who else wants to come out. Lots of green energy there. I'm also getting autumn vibes with those leaves, the colour of some of those leaves. Okay, let's see who else wants to come through, shall we? Who else wants to come through? For the people that are completing this spirit guide challenge. That's an interesting one, Krishna. Now, I don't know if Krishna is male or female, but I'm thinking male. That to me on the top looks like a peacock feather. Maybe wrong. Have you been seeing this guide in your visions or any symbology connected to this guide? In this card, Krishna looks blue. Look at that on the forehead. Have you been seeing that? Look at the earrings, the jewellery around the neck, the colours, the jewels in the crown, and that what I think is a peacock feather. Have you been seeing any of this symbology in your visions, meditations? It says here Krishna is all about devotion, trusting your spiritual guidance, and your commitment has been recognised. You are loved unconditionally. Let's have a look at the book at this. So we're going to Krishna. I don't know much about Krishna, but the book is saying it's a Hindu god, also known as Mahavatar. One of India's best loved gods. He, so he is male, is an approachable, kind, loving and supportive guide, and he is a peaceful being with a great love for all peoples and animals. So he's often depicted with a calf or a lamb. So have you been seeing a lamb in your visions? Which is a symbol of innocence, and a peacock feather, there you go, on the top. That's interesting, isn't it? Because that's a very kind of in-your-face symbol. If you see a peacock or see a peacock's feather, it could mean that Krishna is trying to come through to you. I remember that. He honours the divine feminine. He was the spiritual guide of the warrior soul Arjuna, as related in the Hindu epic Bhagavad Gita, which really is a story of choosing love over fear and helps us move beyond the limitation and wars our ego creates in our mind, and maybe even in the world around us. And his twin flame is Radha. So if your intention has been around wanting to step out of your ego and more into the conscious mind, then maybe Krishna is the guide that's coming through for you. Interesting. Okay, so let's have a look. We did look at the book at Sir Nonos. Let's have a look what it says here. Oh, it says it's pronounced Kernonos. Okay, there we go. Also known as Herne, Herne, a Celtic stag god who represents connection to the earth. He's one of the oldest recognised Celtic gods and features on the Gundestrup cauldron, a giant silver vessel from the Iron Age. He's the lover of the Great Mother and impregnates the land. So it's very fertile, that it will be filled with life. He can help us form a connection with the animal spirits and ancestors of our land. It says that if you want to work with this guide, there's a message here. There's a deep build-up of life force within you now and a need to channel it into action. You may have extra energy or be more alert than usual, or be aware of a sense of increased sensual or sexual energy. If you've been unsure how this ties into your spiritual path, know that it can allow you to access the richness of your soul. When we are not expressing ourselves sexually, our spiritual potential can become tamed or muted. So if you're denying yourself a desire, ask yourself, how can you fulfill it? Ask, let's pronounce it correctly, Kernonos, to help you access your sexual self so that you can express it with integrity and in a way that honours your soul. If you and your partner are trying for a child and this card appears, fertility is very possible. Especially if Bridget, and we had Bridget the other day, Kernos's twin flame is present too. Okay, so do you remember at the beginning when I talked about intention, it could be for helping to conceive. So maybe one of you, that's your intention. And you've got Kernonos here, and maybe you feel that Bridget is coming in for you. Then I would say you're definitely going to get help in terms of conceiving. Interesting. Okay, let's see who the last guide is that wants to come through. So can we have our last guide? And tomorrow, as I said, I'll read from the Animal Oracle deck to see what animal guides are coming through for you. Sanat Kumara. So this is the twin flame of, I think it was Lady Venus, wasn't it, who we had the day before yesterday, I think. So I know quite a lot about Sanat Kumara because when I set this business up, Libra Light, he came through and helped me with that name. He wanted me to provide light activation sessions, which I did. Maybe I need to bring those back actually. Where he would work with me and a client in terms of finding out, helping you to discover the highest timeline going forward for yourself. How can you get onto your highest timeline so that your light is shining as bright as possible? So he's from Venus, the planet Venus, as is, of course, Lady Venus. He's an ascended master. And he just wants to work with people on activating their light bodies. And it's believed that he actually came to Earth to help with the ascension and then left the Earth in the 50s, in the 1950s again, and went back to Venus. But he is still actively helping in terms of this planet's ascension. So let's have a look at the book and see what it says about the wonderful Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara actually means eternal youth. And he is an advanced cosmic light being who's dedicated to helping the earth rise up towards the light. He is, as far as I'm concerned, the leader of the Keepers of the Light. And that's interesting because that's the name of the book that Kyle gave this. And Sanat Kumara is coming through as the last kind of humanoid guide for us before we look at animals tomorrow. So he's been acknowledged as a god in Hinduism and in the Mahabharata story, which has come down from heaven bearing God's divine plan. And in more recent times, he's been acknowledged as coming from Venus and bringing through unconditional love. He has eyes that are made of the cosmos. Look at his eyes. With the ability to penetrate the soul and activate its brightest light yet. He can seem otherworldly because his looks are beyond human. He is a being of the light, shining with the purest intentions. He's the twin flame of Lady Venus. And together they activate the heart and light of those who welcome their help so they can shine brighter than ever. So maybe your intention at the beginning of this challenge was to have some activations for your light to become brighter. Maybe you want to be a light worker, or you want your light work to step up a level. This is a great guide to bring in for that. So are you seeing Sanat Kumara in your visions? Are you seeing him with this staff that he's holding? He's very white, isn't he? So you're seeing a lot of white in your visions. Have a think about that, because that could be Sanat Kumara who wants to work with you. So those are our 3 guides for today. Krishna, Knonos, and Sanat Kumara. Let me know if any of those are your guides, or if you think they are your guides. So, final day tomorrow. What are we going to be doing on day 7? Can you believe that that's happened so quickly? Well, we are going to be looking at how we need to be in a place of gratitude when we're connecting with our guides. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So if we're trying to connect with them coming from a place of neediness or trying to control, it isn't going to work. Are you saying things like, why haven't you shown up for me yet? Or why don't you want to work with me? Or why haven't you connected with me yet? Because you're probably thinking I'm at day 7 and I've not got a good clear picture of who it is. If you're saying things like that, then that's probably why you haven't yet connected with them. Because they need to know that they're welcome, and also that your heart is open to being guided. So if you're saying things like that, you're trying to control. So you need to get yourself into a state of gratefulness, into a state of thankfulness and appreciation. Thank you, guides, for giving me that sign. Thank you, guides, for showing me that lesson. That is the energy that you need to be in to connect. So I'm going to give you an exercise tomorrow, a final exercise, on how you can get yourself into that energy of gratitude. And I think that is it. I shall see you tomorrow for the final day, day 7.